Hi guys, I'm the Dow King, and we're hearing a lot about the Bitcoin halving and what it means and how to take advantage of it. We now have 3 other cycles of Bitcoin halving, so we understand the data better than ever before. Bitcoin is actually becoming more mature, so we actually have data on all of this stuff. And I want to do a short video for you guys to really take advantage of the Bitcoin halving, because you're going to want to collect as much Bitcoin as you can over the next few months. Well, we have about a year over the next year, and I'm going to show you why. Again, Bitcoin isn't for everyone. We're hoping the halving, based on previous data, leads up to kind of what has happened in the past, but we don't know for sure. We all want Bitcoin to go back up to all-time highs and go past them, but keep in mind, guys, we don't know. Anything can happen. Remember when COVID happened? Anything can happen. COVID happened. Bitcoin went from like 9,000 to 3,000 in like a day. So anything can happen. Keep that in the back of your mind. Nothing here is guaranteed, but we have data to support some of the stuff, and we're going to go through it real quick. And what do? How can you get some Bitcoin possibly for free? Possibly ways of getting your hands on it, okay? So keep that all in mind. We want it to go up, but there is no guarantees, and this is not financial advice. You're going to have to definitely see if Bitcoin fits in your portfolio and your risk factors. Now, look at this. Before we get into anything, let's look at this. How many Bitcoin are made every day? The halving is going to change this. Around 900 new Bitcoin are mined per day. The halving is going to make this about 450. Now you might go, well, that's not a big deal. Well, let's just do the math. Is it or is it not a big deal? 900 Bitcoin a day, multiply that by $29,000. Well, guys, that's just $26 million every day coming onto the market worth of Bitcoin. That, if the price of Bitcoin stays the same, which during the halving, when you lead up to the halving, it generally doesn't, would mean that instead of being 26 million Bitcoin a day coming onto the market, there would be 13 million Bitcoin a day. Now, 26 million Bitcoin, 365 is $9.4 billion a year worth of downward pressure. 900 tokens possibly being sold by miners onto the market. That is crazy. It's a lot. And the fact that Bitcoin takes it with such ease and actually goes up in price is actually a testament to how great the system is. Now, there's something else to look. 90% of all the Bitcoin has already been minted. Now we're over 19 million Bitcoin. There's 1.7 million total Bitcoin that are to be mined. That's it. That's all that's left. And this halving is going to happen over and over again, all the way till, I believe, the year 2140. That's quite a ways away, so you don't have to worry about that. But basically, if you're looking at what's happening here, 90% of all Bitcoin has been mined. This particular pressure that's going to be lifted off Bitcoin, back here, the last halving, there was 1,800 Bitcoin a day being minted. Now there's 900, and it's going to go to 450. This is a dramatic drop. This is really dramatic. So that should take a lot of pressure away, like you've kind of seen with Ethereum. There's no more that daily selling pressure that's happening. And that's why Ethereum is holding up so well. So that kind of gives you an idea. I'm going to put the links to all these for you guys below, so you can kind of see what people are saying in these articles, because they're really cool. Now, I wanted to go somewhere else also. This article is great. I'm going to bring this up for you guys also. Now, I want you to look at this data. Bitcoin halving event market valuation growth. Okay. Every Bitcoin halving event, the 4-year period, the first epoch, Bitcoin went up 470x, the second one 80x, the third one 16x. What this means is from the halving, how much has it gone up? And look up here, right before the halving, all of them have this bump. This was the first one. This was the second bump. This was the third rally. And now we're in the fourth. We're 2.5x from the last one that had happened. Now, how high is this going to go? Well, some people think it's going to get very close to the old highs. If you look at these two, they both are pretty close to the old highs. Relatively, they're not quite at the old highs. Our old high was 69,000. Could we see Bitcoin get to 45, 50,000? It's in the realm of possibilities that it could go that high in the next year. A lot of people think it's going to break all-time highs in March of or May of 2024, whenever the halving takes place. But it's not guaranteed. I don't think it's going to hit all-time highs. Usually the all-time highs, I'm going to show you an article with a really good breakdown, happens 6 months to a year after the halving. But we're in great shape. If you look at these data points, this is what's happening. Okay? We are probably going to move up. Now, big events can happen. What are those big events? One of those big events right here, you can see this drop from here to here. This was COVID. This is in 2020. literally took it from, I believe, almost 8 or 9,000, over 8,000. It was like closer to 9,000, down to like 3,500, 3,000 something. But it came right back up, boom, and the halving event happened. So this is very powerful. Things can happen. There are unexpected moments that can happen. You can see an unexpected moment in here. You can see a dip. Does this mean we're going to follow these big rises that have happened in these last epochs? No, it does not mean. Past history does not necessarily mean it is going to follow through. Just like in stocks, past history of something does not mean it's going to happen also. Keep that in mind. But it's increasing the probability of it happening, correct? Yes, absolutely. Now, this is another article that I thought was one of the best written ones. This is by Peasant for Hire. He's one of the most respected guys here in DeFi. He's a big investor in MDB. Everyone loves MDB. He's telling people don't sleep on MDB. Don't sleep on Peasant for Hire. He is a whale in MDB when MDB was just nothing. So this guy knows a few things. He wrote this incredible article. You guys got to read it. I'm going to link it to you. He actually thinks 2025 will be when the Bitcoin, after the Bitcoin halving, is going to reach its all-time highs. And he actually gives statistics. He actually says time from all-time highs to all-time highs. You can see here how long it's taken. 4 years and 1 month, 3 years, 11 months. He's breaking it down. The first cycle took time for BTC halving till all-time highs, 12 months. The first cycle. Second month took 17 months. Third cycle took 18 months, averaging 15.6 months, but progressing in length. So will the second one take longer? Could the second one take 20 months, 22 months? We can talk about that. Now, there's a lot of factors that goes into place, right? We have something that's going on right now that these other cycles didn't have to deal with. We have this thing called inflation. Is inflation going to make Bitcoin move up faster because people want to protect their money because the dollar or whatever asset that they're in is losing? That's a possibility. We have to think about that. Then the other thing that we have to think about is Bitcoin network is becoming much more robust than it was. It was never made to be a smart contract. It's become a store of wealth up until now because Stacks has made ordinals on it. They're making NFTs on it. They're making all sorts of stuff on it. They have the BTC Lightning Network. BTC is now becoming a smart contract. Well, all of this and this sentiment, this bullish sentiment, make BTC, Bitcoin, a lot more powerful going forward. Could the fourth cycle, we reach all-time highs faster? Because more people are going to be using the network, and the network is going to be more robust, and maybe Bitcoin goes into liquidity pools. Maybe DEXs go on Bitcoin. Maybe it becomes a true own, multifaceted network with all sorts of cool DeFi apps and other types of apps on it. That could happen. That could actually finally happen. So what happens to the price of Bitcoin? This is actually the first time ever, by the way, I've owned a significant amount of Bitcoin because of what's happening out here. And I was never a Bitcoin maxi. I was more of a ETH maxi. But as Bitcoin, I see its true value and decentralization. I see its power and I see what's happening. I am more becoming a Bitcoin maxi, going to myself, oh, I need to own this. Now it's starting to make more sense. It's clicking for me, going to myself. With everything that's coming and the history that is being laid out, we can see it clearly what is happening. And then you can see all the other data breakdowns. And then you can see the gains each time it's had. So this is a great article. I'm going to link it for you guys. He thinks the max Bitcoin is going to get to, why I think it's 102,000 will be the top. Now, I think it's going to go past this because of what I told you. Bitcoin is going to become its own network. 102,000 is not even double. And he lays it out here. It's not even double what the last all-time highs were. Usually it does more than just, 1.5 times. Now, he could be right. He could definitely be right. But I think with what's coming and what's going on with Bitcoin, I think it's going to go a little bit more than that. And like you said, please do your own research. This is not financial advice. Again, we're all guessing here. We can only take educated guesses, but this is a great article. You guys definitely got to read it. I'll link it for you. Now, what are the ways you can get into Bitcoin? What are the easiest ways? What are the paths that you can get into it? Okay. First of all, the easiest way you can get into it is just buy it. Just buy it. You can buy it. And the second way, there's about 3 different ways I believe you can get into Bitcoin. Second way is if you can mine it yourself. You can mine it, or you can invest in mining companies. Okay. So those are the ways that you can really do it. Now, mining companies, the one that I'm getting into, and I had to do some math for you guys, is the First Argentine. And a reason we're getting into Argentina, First Argentine mining company, is because of this reason. Because they have electricity that is going to allow us under 2 cents a kilowatt, which is right here, which is like in America, we're like 5 times this amount. We don't make any money mining Bitcoin in America or Europe or parts of Asia. It's just the electricity cost is too high. We make very little return, but at 2 cents or under, the return is very high. And that's because Argentina is suffering from high inflation and they have a lot of power. The country has a lot of natural resources and power. So when I look at these NFTs that they're offering, so I did a little bit of a breakdown, and actually you got to go onto their Discord. They have a whole beautiful sheet that they said, like, how much the returns are. And I'm probably going to have to do another First Argentine video showing the return rate and what they're doing. But basically this, if you purchase a platinum, which is the one I'm going to purchase, I'm going to purchase 10 of these. It gives you the right to also mine in the First Argentine facility. And you get 5 miners per NFT, but you also get the rewards that they're going to be mining with the money here. So you're also going to get rewards, and you have the right to mine with your own miners in the facility. Now, I was thinking the other day, is it better to go buy $50,000 worth of Bitcoin right now, or buy $50,000 of these platinum NFTs? If we look at other NFTs like Hydro Whales NFTs, for example, they 6x'd on the market when they came out. I'm not saying these are going to 6x. In fact, I don't think they are going to 6x. But what I think is going to happen is if you're going to buy $50,000 worth of Bitcoin, let's just do the math. If we buy $50,000 worth of Bitcoin and Bitcoin goes to 100,000, all right. So right now for $50,000, I can buy, for example, about 1.7 Bitcoin. And if 1.7 Bitcoin goes to 100,000, let's see how much money I get. I get $170,000. Now that's impressive. Now, that's years down the line, by the way. That's not now. We got to wait for the halving to happen. And according to some of the estimates, it could take another year or up to 18 months for it to get to those highs. I think it's going to be sooner, but again, everyone has their own opinion. Now, this is something to remember. If I can put 50,000, which is 10 of these NFTs, and I can mine, meaning I'm making Bitcoin. Usually these mining operations last about 5 years. So I can mine Bitcoin for the next 5 years. That's a big plus, number one. So I'm just getting daily passive income. I'm just getting monthly, I'm getting more and more Bitcoin, number one. Number two, the other thing you got to think about it is, what will this NFT be worth when Bitcoin is at $100,000? Well, it's not going to be worth $5,000 because the return rate is really, really, really high at that point. So you got to look at it from that objective too. Most likely, this is going to be worth. So most likely in the next 6 months is what they're estimating. Argentine First Mining Company is saying within the next 6, 7, maybe 8 months after the operations are operational, they expect everyone to ROI. So if I put in 50,000, I'm going to get my $50,000 back in Bitcoin or close to it around those times. Again, they can't guess exactly when because the price of Bitcoin fluctuates. Now, this is important to remember. I already got my $50,000 back. It's already in my pocket. I'm already done. I already ROI'd on this thing, but I still own the NFTs. How much are those NFTs going to be worth? Well, I think they're going to be worth a lot more than $170,000. Plus, I already took my $50,000. Plus, I can put my own miners in the facility. So what am I trying to do? I'm trying to leverage Bitcoin. This is a way of actually leveraging the value of Bitcoin because now you have a way to farm it. You know how a farmer throws seeds in the ground and he has a way of leveraging his work and making it worth more? Well, this is exactly the same. I have a way of leveraging my love for Bitcoin. I have a way of producing it, of printing it. I am a farmer in essence. This is why they call them Bitcoin farms. Call it mining or farming, whatever you want to call it. This is really what it is. It is paying me in for at least the next 5 years. Some of these farms go on a lot longer, but replacing equipment and stuff becomes expensive. At some point, it doesn't make sense. But if I'm only looking at this, what am I going to make off this for the next 5 years? And it's looking pretty good. As long as the electricity price in Argentina and the roadmap is stuck, I think this is the way to go. I think this is going to make me more money. And if I send For example, if I buy miners, 10 miners from them, I don't even need to buy all the 50 miners. I will have the right for buying 10 of these. But if I buy, for example, this is another way you can make money. The miners are money. Why are the miners money? If you buy 10 miners right now from FAMCO, I think they're going to probably be like $2,000 to $2,200. Let's say 10 miners cost me $20,000. Do you think when Bitcoin's 100,000, those miners are going to cost $2,000? No. Last bull run, those same miners would have been $4,000 or $5,000. So you can actually double or triple your money, or about, I would say 2.5 times your money based on just the miners. So those miners are making you money, and you can decide to sell your miners, because if you sell your NFT, they're attached to it, to someone else, you make money on that. So I'm trying to figure out, well, I can have my own miners and I can mine, and at the same time that I'm mining, my miner value goes up. And yes, I will be selling when Bitcoin hits 100,000 plus, at least parts. That's why I'm buying 10 of them. I might sell one or two, or every month or two, sell this many NFTs. I'm going to slowly sell them, because you don't know, it could erupt to 150 and then these become worth even more. So you can't just sell it all and get out. You got to kind of slowly DCA in and DCA out. Dollar cost average in and dollar cost average out. Now, what is the third way of getting Bitcoin? Third way, you can get it for free. You're like, what? Free? Yeah. You can mine, farm on places like Glacier. This is one of the exchanges that I'm farming in. You can see this one. I own like 51% of this pool. I've been making a little bit over $100 a day, anywhere from $100 to $150 a day. Depends on the price of the Glacier token. So they have all these pools that you can get into. I'm in this pool, which is the Zex and AVAX pool. You can see I'm 7.8%. All this AVAX, this is mine in here. I got this all for free. All I did was start farming here with this pool right here. This one's, I think I'd put about $15,000 in this particular pool, but that's because I already owned Might. Might, I believe, is undervalued. I already owned it, and I just paired it up with some BTC, which I bought on the market, and I put it in here. And you can suffer, obviously, some impermanent loss, but I'm comfortable enough with where the price of Might is and with BTC that I was like, you know what, I'll farm. I made about $3,000 so far, and I took about 800 of it so far, and I put it in this pool. I haven't paid out of my pocket anything for my ownership stake in here. This is worth about $800 or $900 basically. And this is now making me more Glacier. But what do you do with the Glacier? Myself, I have been doing this, but I'm also taking the rewards and turning them into AVAX. You can easily take your rewards and turn them into BTC. Easy. You can just turn them into Bitcoin. I love AVAX also, so I'm up in here trying to get myself as much AVAX. That's why I love this pool, because it's AVAX with this token called Zex, which is a fork of Zen. I don't know if it's going to be successful or not, but I think it's kind of hit a low price that it's going to be okay, so I'm not that worried. Also, I'm playing with free money. Let it earn me money. And look at the APR. APR is the highest and this was like 1,500 and 2,000. So I was earning a lot at one point. So, I mean, now it's fallen to about 565, which is still great. It's still like, almost 2% a day. It's still great. I'm going to still sit here. I'm going to still farm. I'm going to make my money, and I'm going to just keep compounding it in here, at least until I'm up close to 20% of this pool. And then it's just free riding, free money, and it just comes in, and I can swap that out for BTC. You can do that anywhere. You don't have to do it on a Glacier. Maybe I got to make a Glacier video. If you guys want to see me do a Glacier video, just hit me up. But you can farm anywhere. You can do it on Pancake Swap. You can do it on Glacier. You can do it on Spooky Swap. And you can take that money that you farm and you can turn it into BTC. And you got to see where your risk tolerance is. Those are really risky, what I'm doing. But like this one, some of these are not that risky, right? Like BNB, BUSD, as long as BNB obviously holds up, paying you 29% a year. This one's interesting. I might even consider this one. This is staked BNB with BNB and an LP, paying 33% a year. So you don't get too much impermanent loss, because the value of staked BNB and BNB are very, very, very similar. They're usually within a few percent of each other. So, like this is a pretty risky pool, Cake and USTD, because UST, yeah, you got it, because Cake keeps falling. Farm tokens are going to do what farm tokens do, which is fall. Just always keep that in mind. So you got to pick the right farm. You can also look at Dex vaults. They have all the vaults listed to see where it is. Take those profits. Buy BTC. In my opinion, it's kind of riding on the wall. You know, when you look at this and you look at what Peasant for Hire has written here, which is an incredible article, when you see the methodology that has been used in these articles, and he's in my Discord group too. You can say hi to him if you want. I'll put my Discord link down here too, and you can say hi and talk to him. But my God, like this information, the way he's laid out, this is actually one of the best written ones I have seen. If you just look at Glassnode, what he's saying here with these epochs or epoches, people call them different things, epochs. I mean, it's very clear the last two times what has happened. Now, this one was COVID. So this is a question I have for you guys, because COVID kind of threw a wrench in this, right? Because when COVID happened, look, we felt, man, I remember that day. I was sitting in my office. It was really hysterical. And I knew COVID was coming because at that time, I was still running my online company. Our sales had fallen dramatically. We were doing about, God, I remember it. We were doing about, just on the website for that month, it was March, we were doing about $30,000 a day. And I know we had like Walmart and Amazon sales too. So complete company wide, we were doing like $50,000 a day, which is kind of low for us for the most part for March. It's March, we're going into our season, which was spring. And we usually do better than that, but it wasn't too far off. Okay, like I would expect days in March where we would be closer to 60 or 80,000 range, depending on the year. And there's obviously been years we did better, but this is what happened in March. All of a sudden, guys, literally, I don't know, out of nowhere, sales plummeted from the website. It used to be $30,000 a day and it fell to $12,000 a day. And I was like, what is going on? I was like, holy mother of Christ, I have never seen anything like this. And I knew something is coming. I called the CEO of the company, and he was out on a trip, some convention or something. I'm like, listen, shit's about to hit the fan. It's about to get real. I'm just letting you know. Because this guy, he's got 6,000 employees. I want him to know shit's about to hit the fan. And we're one, segment of this company that he has, right? He's got multiple divisions and, he has multiple companies. He's been buying companies. And I'm like, listen, dude, shit's about to get real. And he goes to me, yeah. Okay, man. Yeah, you think so? I'm like, yeah, things are about to go down. Calls me back a week later. He goes, I don't know how you knew that. And I go, because I saw the data. He goes, that is fucking incredible. I go, because I see the data first. Online, you see everyone's reactions faster than you do. You're walking down a convention, everyone's happy, everyone's eating fucking bagels, drinking their coffee like nothing's going on. But I'm here running an internet company with a website with tens of thousands of people coming through it every day. There's a vibe, there's a hive mentality. We see it all. And he's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And I go, that's right. I'm like, it's different. It's a data center almost. It's a data. When you run an online company, you get data before everyone else. And then this happened. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Stocks collapsing. But I said, you know what? I started buying. I remember I was buying Disney stock for my kids, myself. I was like, I was hitting it. Boom, 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 boom. I'm seeing it all crash. And I'm like, no, man, it's time to buy. The reason I started buying, and I started buying more the weeks afterwards, because sales exploded on our website, because everyone went home and all of a sudden they started going on their computers. Literally sales, I'm not kidding you, went from 12,000 to 60,000, $80,000 a day on this website. Not only that, our Amazon sales, our Walmart sales, our eBay sales. We didn't do too much on eBay. eBay fucking sucks. But we started going through the roof. We were having $100,000 days. We started having $3 million months. I haven't had a $3 million month in probably like 5 years before that. It was incredible. And I started buying stocks. I told him to buy stocks. I told him to buy Bitcoin. I told him to buy everything. He didn't, because he's not into that stuff, but he's a busy dude. So, it is what it is. But the data sets that we have up there, we have to act upon them. The data sets that we have. And the data sets here is telling us a picture that is very, very, very similar. I don't think this is going to be here. I think it's going to come up. How much up? I don't know. 40, 50,000 is definitely a possibility. Could a one-time COVID event, something crazy like this, pull us back? Or what if COVID didn't happen? Would this have gone up more? That's something else to think about. Look at where it ended. Could this have come up more? Could this have gone up back to all-time highs for that time period or maybe higher. Think about that. COVID threw a loop in all of this data. We don't know exactly where this would have ended up without COVID. We just don't know. So think about that. And I think about it. I don't know how to normalize it, but also there's more people buying Bitcoin. There's more people holding Bitcoin. There's more people coming into the network. There's more people, more countries are accepting it. There's more systems accepting it. So I think 102,000 is a little low, but I think 120 to $180,000 range is where we're going to go on this next Bitcoin run. And I could be wrong. It could be lower. It could be higher. Nobody really knows, but the data is telling us where things potentially could go. And those are the ways you can take advantage of it. Anyway, guys, I hope that was helpful. There's so many different ways you can earn some Bitcoin. You're definitely going to want to get some. And I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I am not a Michael Saylor telling people, sell your house, mortgage everything, and buy Bitcoin. No, I'm not doing that. I will not ever do that. That is insane. That guy, that's insane advice, Michael. That is insane. I will never do that. But there is a case to be made. We're in a good spot. We're in a really, really good spot. And you have to pick your spots. Am I going to buy $50,000 worth of Bitcoin today? I own a lot of Bitcoin already. Or am I going to invest in a mining company where I can earn it for the next 5 years? Is that more beneficial? Where those NFTs could be worth more and the miners that I'm going to buy could be worth more. Is that a way to leverage myself? So these are the thoughts I'm having and discussions I'm having with myself. And that's where I'm putting my money because I already own some. So if you already own some Bitcoin, you don't necessarily need to keep buying Bitcoin. You need to figure out a way to mine it, constantly have it come into you. That's my take. And that's where I'm going. That's why I'm investing in FAMCO, which is the first Argentinian mining company. Maybe I got to do a video explaining their graphs and everything. Maybe I'll do it next week. Maybe I got to do a separate video for Glacier. If you guys want a Glacier video, tell me in the comments. Tell Lame Hillbilly, hit me up if he wants one, because I'm actually doing really well on his DAX. I actually like his DAX. I also did some mining on Arbidax. That was actually really good too. I'm not earning as much there anymore, but you know, farm tokens do what farm tokens do, which is they go down. But you never know. If the market shores up here, it was like 4.5 cents not that long ago. It could go back up. It's an equalizer fork. You never know. Anyway, guys, hope that was helpful. Talk to you soon.